Are you prepared to vote? Are you prepared for Election Day? Are you prepared for the day after? We at The Knowledge believe it is imperative to prepare for Election Day on many different levels. Especially, for us Black people, we have seen and heard plenty of violent rhetoric to recognize that regardless of who wins, we must be prepared. We must make sure that the vestiges of slavery do not come back to haunt us. Many in the media and others continue to ask if America is, or has ever been, a racist country. And what was the Civil War fought for? We at The Knowledge are not surprised at the response we hear from people in positions of power. Basic knowledge of American history tells us that America is a racist country. America was built on slavery, and yes, slavery was the cause of the Civil War. Let us be clear, America became rich and powerful due to slavery, not only because of the free labor it produced, but also because America was especially cruel and inhumane to slaves, and its endeavor to maximize its efficiency and profit. The disgusting treatment of slaves went far beyond the benefits of profitability, the raping of black women, the purposeful separation of families, and even the withholding of education. Let us be even more clear, this practice went on for more than 400 years. Slavery is what made America great. That is exactly what MAGA means. This is what so many Trump supporters long for. Due to this being the inaugural episode of The Knowledge, we must make a few things crystal clear. There are many thoughts and ideas taught in America that are not based on facts. America has branded itself as the United States of America. America is not united and has never been united. All men have never been treated equally. Is America great? How do you believe America achieved its greatness? Was it the United States Constitution? The United States Constitution promotes states' rights. The 10th Amendment of the Constitution states that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. This amendment recognizes the rights and powers that are reserved for the individual states. So, what makes the states united? Today, many Republican state legislatures are doing whatever they can to undermine the rights of many black people, from voting rights to reproductive rights. This is not new, but we still brand and celebrate the so-called United States of America. Although, it is written in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, many white people do not believe that our equality is a fact. Many white people parrot the phrase, all men are created equal, as a fact. That fact is not inherent to the way of life of most black people. But repeating this written mantra makes most white people feel as if they are not complicit in the negative history of this country. Even though most white people historically or ancestrally have not paid the price that slaves and black people have paid to make this country great. These so-called patriots take advantage of people of color due to their benefit of being white in America. Even some immigrants take refuge in being patriots because they were not forced to endure the hardship of making America great. Most immigrants can arrive today and reap the benefits that slavery and the civil rights movements have given them. Many white people today fight literally to keep the American states divided. From politicians to militia groups. Take January 6, 2021, for example. We must recognize, slavery, America's original sin, is prevalent in everything we do and in everything America has achieved, even today, whether we openly acknowledge it or not. The economy of any business, any country, even a nonprofit is based on labor. If you own a business and you can get your labor to work efficiently for little or no cost, you should be able to produce profits. To this day, many Americans, more specifically most white people, do not acknowledge the 400 years of slavery. It would take too much time to enumerate all the benefits of how America profits from slavery from the year 1619 to today. But we must take the time to investigate how those benefits are being magnified in today's politics and our economy. These benefits are relatable in this presidential election. Former President Trump and his followers are again pushing the MAGA mantra. Many in this movement are afraid to admit or are ignorant of what they mean by "Make America Great Again." We at The Knowledge recognize what these people are espousing. Those who espouse this movement are doing so at a fever and sometimes violent pitch. Again, I reference January 6, 2021, for example. Along with trying to disenfranchise the votes of mostly black people in selective states, these moves are showing signs of progress within the media and how they frame their questions, even with so-called selective voting blocs, even some black voters, without the proper historical context or response. The media makes it look as though many black voters are considering not voting, or worse, voting for Trump. There is little to no voting data to support this narrative. We have seen some states with Republican political majorities gerrymander majority black voting areas while also passing laws to make it much more difficult for black people to vote, which keeps black people out of power in districts where we are the majority. Why are Republicans taking these obvious racist steps? Because these mostly white people are afraid to lose any sense of power. While most poor, uneducated, and middle-class white people support the MAGA movement, they do not recognize that their votes for Trump do not support policies that would benefit their own best interests. They would rather continue to live poor. Because they believe they would still be seen as above black people because they are white. Most poor white people believe that black people moving up in class comes at the expense of white people. This, of course, is not the case, but Trump has sold this narrative to these many white folks, and they believe it. The concern for us at The Knowledge is that while we believe the supporters of the MAGA movement are not large in comparison to the majority of voters, the range of support this group has in the Republican political party, along with their defiant, obstinate, and sometimes violent nature, make it imperative that we, especially black people, and other well-meaning white people, and other people of color, be prepared for the aftermath of this upcoming election. Please stay tuned for upcoming episodes to see what it means to be prepared for after the election, along with thoughts and considerations to keep in mind when casting your vote.